Hello, everyone. I'm Frank, and welcome to episode 15 of Learn How to Sudoku, where we break down very easy variant Sudoku puzzles and try to explain things slowly and in a clear way so that you can learn how to Sudoku. And today's very easy puzzle is called Interconnection by Asvaril. And here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Fill each row, column, and 3x3 box with the digits, 3x3 box with the digits 1 to 9 once each. Digits on thermometers increase starting at the bulb end. So as an example, this would work for this thermometer. So it could be like 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. That works because it's continuously increasing from the bulb to the tip. So this is always greater than that, this would be greater than that, this is greater than that, etc., etc. And that's how thermometers work. Along green German whisper lines, digits must differ from their neighbors by at least 5. So for example, if this were a 3, this would have to be an 8 or a 9 because you have to have a difference of at least 5 between adjacent digits on a German whisper line. And those are all the rules. If you like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's learn how to Sudoku. Okay, so the way that I personally like to do thermometers is, especially for the long ones, is I like to say, what is the maximum amount possible for each cell in the thermometer? And then go from there. So therefore, this is 9 as the max. This could be 8 because this has to be less than this digit. This must be 7 at most because this is less than 2 other digits here on the thermometer, which makes that 6, this is 5, and that's 4. So now we know from the bulb of the thermometer, the highest digit you can have is a 4. And this is the same here. This is 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4. So therefore, this can be 1 through 4, obviously, which means this one has to be greater than it. So it has to be 2 through 5, and then so you go down one way, which with the maximum the cells can be, and then you go back the other way with the minimum the cells can be, and then you fill it out. So this could be 3, 4, 5, or 6. This is 4, 5, 6, or 7 because this has to be greater than these 3 cells. And this is 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 6, 7, 8, or 9. So similarly, you can go with this thermometer. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And one thing about a German whisper line, though, is you can never have 5 in a normal Sudoku. You can never have 5 on a German whisper line because 5 is never 5 away from any normal Sudoku digit, right? 5 is 5 away from 0 and below, but 0 is not normally a Sudoku digit. And 5 is also 5 away from 10 and above, but 10 is obviously not a digit, and none of the numbers above it are. So this can never be 5, but it could be 2, 3, or 4. So since this can't be 5 anymore, this can no longer be 4, because the 4 is only less than 5. And if this were 4, this would have to be less than this digit, which breaks the thermometer rule. So this can no longer be 4. This is 2, 3, or 4, and therefore we know this is a low. Because, and I like for German whisper lines, and also some other variants too. Like if you have an X in between 2 cells, that's also useful for this type of coloring. But I like coloring low numbers as blue, and the low numbers are usually 1 through 4, and then the high numbers as high, which is 6 through 9. And the reason why it works well on German whisper lines is for German whisper line, you will always alternate between low numbers and then high numbers, right? Because 1 through 4, if you have a digit that's 1 through 4 on a German whisper line, what can be next to it? Well, if you take the lowest one, which is 1, and you take the difference between 1 and the difference you need, which would be 5, that means you get 6 or above next to the 1. and that's the lowest one. So therefore, 1 through 4 must have a digit, must be adjacent to a digit that must be 6 through 9. And then if you take it 6 through 9, what digits can be adjacent next to the 6 through 9? Well, if you take the highest digit, 9, and you try to go down 5, that means you have 4 and below can only be next to the 9. So therefore, it will always alternate between lows and highs. Therefore, you know this is a low, which forces this to be a high, which means it must be next to a low, which means it has to be 1, 2, 3, or 4. So this is 1, 2, 3, or 4. It can never be 7. Obviously can't be 1. It has 3 digits that are smaller than it. The only digit that works that way is a 4. So this must be a 4, which means this must be 3, 2, and 1 because these digits are unique and they're smaller than the 4. So this is 3, this is 2, this is 1. Now 4 on a German whisper line can only be adjacent to 9. So therefore this is a 9. This could be 5, 6, 7, or 8. And this could be 6, 7, 8, or 9. Now we no longer have 3 and 4 possible on this in this cell. So this has to be 5 or 6, which means this has to be 6 or 7 because it always has to be greater than that digit in that cell. So therefore this is 6 or 7, which makes this has to be 7 or 8 because again, this cell is greater than the digit in this cell is greater than the digit in that cell. So this must be 7 or 8, which means this is 8 or 9. Now we have a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 quintuplet in row 6, which means the rest of the row cannot contain 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So therefore, these two have to be 1 and 2. Now let's continue with this German whisper line. This has to be a high number, this has to be a low number, this has to be a high number, and this has to be a low number, which makes that high. 2 can only be next to 7 or 8 in this cell. Can't be next to 6 because there's no difference of 5 and 9 is already taken. This can't be 2, and it's next to 2 unique digits on a German whisper line. 4 can only be next to 1 unique digit, which is 9 on a German whisper line. Therefore, this must be a 1 or a 3. In addition, this 2 can't be here because of this 2, so this must be 3, 4, 5. This 1 can't be here because of this 1, so this must be 2, 3, or 4. This digit is also next to 2 unique digits on a German whisper line. So it cannot be 4, but it could be 1, 2, or 3. This digit is next to 2 unique digits on a German whisper line. Therefore, it can't be 6 because 6 can only be next to 1 on a German whisper line. And that's only 1 unique digit. Therefore, this must be 7, 8, or 9. But this could actually be a 6 because it's only next to 1 unique digit. So this could be 6, 7, 8, or 9. Okay, what do we have here? So for this thermometer, again, we start by saying what's the most these cells can be. So then this would be 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and this could be 4. So this could be 1, 2, 3. This can no longer be 2 or 3 because they're both in that column. So therefore, this can't be 2 or 3. This must be 4 or 5, which means this has to be 5 or 6. This has to be 6 or 7. This is 7 or 8, and this must be 8 or 9. Well, we now have an 8, 9, 8, 9 pair in box 5. We have a 1, 2, 1, 2 pair in box 5, which means in the rest of the cells in box 5s, you cannot have a 1, 2, or 8, 9. So therefore, this must be 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We have a 1, 2, 3 triplet in column 5. So that means 3 cells which must contain the digits 1, 2, and 3. Therefore, no other cells in that column can contain 1, 2, or 3 because they all must be in these 3 cells. So these can't be 3. What else do we have? Not much else. Okay. Oh, where is the 9 in row 6? Cannot be any of these cells because you always have a cell that's greater than it on the thermometer. Same for this. And these can't be 9. Therefore, this is the only possibility for 9. So that makes this 9, which makes this an 8. The only digit next to it that is less than it can be 7, which makes that 6, 5, and 4. So this can no longer be 4. It has to be 1, 2, or 3 to be less than the 4. Now, where is 9 in column 7? It cannot be this one. All of these are filled out, therefore it must be here. So this is 9, which makes this an 8. This can no longer be 8. Let's see. This can't be 9. Okay, so this can't be 6, 7, or 8 because they see these two in the same box and this one from the row. So therefore, this must be a 9. This can't be 6 or 7, so this has to be 5 or 8. These can't be 7 because of this 7. These can't be 6 because of this 6. We know one of these two is 6 because of how this row works. Because this can no longer be 6. None of these can be 6. So one of these two is a 6, and one of these two is a 7 because of similar reasoning. These can't be 7 anymore. None of these could be 7. Therefore, one of these two has to be a 7. This can't be 8 anymore, so this must be a 7. Since this is a 7, 7 can only be next to 1 or 2 on a German whisper line. Since the 2 is already here, this can't be 2, so this must be 1. So this can't be 1 anymore. This can't be 1 anymore, so that's 2, which makes that 1. This can no longer be 1. This can't be 1 or 2, so it must be a 3. So this is a 3. And 3 can only be next to 8 or 9 on a German whisper line. Well, this can't be 6 or 7, therefore this must be a 9. Oops. This must be a 9. This can't be 7 or 9, so this must be an 8. So that's an 8. Let's see. What else do we have here? This is a low. This cannot be 9 at most, so therefore this is 8 at most, this is 7 at most, this is 6 at most, this is 5 at most. This could be 1 through 5, this could be 2 through 6, but no 4. This could be 3, no 4. It cannot be 5 because it's on a German whisper line, and 5 can never be on a German whisper line. It cannot be 6 because if it were 6, it would be next to 2 unique digits on a German whisper line, and 6 can only be next to 1 unique digit on a German whisper line. Therefore, this is a 3 or a 7, which forces this to be 5, 6, 7, or 8, because it can never be a 4. Now, if this were a 3, this would have to be a 2 to be less than the 3 and greater than this digit, but then that breaks this cell, because both 3 and 2 would be already in the same row. That would eliminate both possibilities here. Therefore, this can never be a 3. This has to be a 7, which forces this to be 8 to be greater than it. This is now a high. And on a German whisper line, again, you alternate between high digits and low digits. Therefore, this must be low, this must be low, this has to be a high, and this has to be a high. This can no longer be 7, so this must be 8, which makes that a 7, because 7 has to be somewhere on this German, on this thermometer, on this row, excuse me. This can't be an 8, so this is a 5, which makes that a 6. So this cannot be 6, 7, or 8 as a high, therefore it must be 9. So this has to be 9. In addition, 7 can only be next to 1 and 2 on a German whisper line, and we have 2 unique digits, so this must be 1 or 2, and this must be 1 or 2. Now we have a 1, 2, 1, 2 pair in box 1, which eliminates 1 and 2 from the rest of the cells in the box. So therefore this can't be 1 or 2, and this can't be 2. Since this is 3 at minimum, this can never be 3, because if this were 3, this would never be smaller than it. So therefore, this can't be 3. It must be 5 or 6. This is 3, 4, 5. Okay. 6 can never be one of these 3 cells, so therefore 6 has to be one of these 2. This has to be 6 or 7, because 8 and 9 are already accounted for. This is a high. This is a low. This is low. Okay, this, what's the most this could be? 7, which could go down to 6, which could go down to 4, because it cannot be 5. What's the lowest this number can be? It can only be 3 or 4. So this is 3 or 4, which means this has to be 4 or 6, because it can never be 5, which means this has to be 6 or 7. Okay. What else do we have here? We have 8. Has to be one of these 2. So this, and the rest of these cells are 1, 2, and 8. But 8 cannot be here. This digit cannot be 7, 8, or 9 because of normal Sudoku rules. Therefore, if it's a high, what number would it be? It would have to be a 6. But 6, again, can only be next to one unique number on a German whisper line. Therefore, this can't be 6, which means we know this specific number must be a low, and that must be next to 2 highs, which must be next to lows. So therefore, we know this has to be 1, 2, and 3. Well, what about these 2 numbers? We know this is next to 2 unique numbers, so it can't be 6, and we can't have a 9 in it, so this must be 7 or 8. And similarly, this is next to 2 unique numbers on a German whisper line, and so it can't be 6, and we already have the 9 there. Therefore, this is 7 or 8. We have a 7, 8, 7, 8 pair in column 9, which eliminates 7 or 8 in the rest of the column. So therefore, this can't be 7 anymore, which forces this to be 6, this to be 4, and this to be 3, which means this can't be 3. This is 1 or 2. This can't be 8. Therefore, this is 1 or 2. We now have a 1, 2, 1, 2 pair in box 6, which eliminates 1 and 2 from the rest of the box. Therefore, this must be 8. We have a 1, 2, 3 triplet in column 8, which means 1, 2, and 3 cannot be in the rest of the box. This has to be a 6, and this must be 5 or 7. Okay, this can no longer be 6, so it must be 5, which forces this to be the 6, because that's only possible. This can't be 5 then, so therefore this must be a low. It's a 3 or 4. This can't be 7 because of this 7. Okay, and now we're just probably doing normal Sudoku. So this could be 1, 2, 3, or 9. But 1, 2, or 3 are already eliminated here, so this must be a 9. So this has to be 1, 2, or 3. Cannot be 1, 2 because of the 1, 2, 1, 2 pair already in box 1. So therefore this must be a 3, which forces this to be 2, which forces this to be 1. So this can no longer be 1. This can't be 1. This can't be 3 anymore, so that forces this to be a 4. This can't be 3, and this can't be 3. And this can't be 4 because of that 4. So this must be a 2 then. Let's see. What's the rest of column 3? Cannot be 1 or 2 because of the 1, 2 pair. It could be 3, 4, 5, or 6. So this is 3, 4, 5. It cannot be 6, though, so therefore one of these is 3, 4, 5, or 6. This can't be 3. This can't be 4, and this can't be 3 or 6. So far, that's okay. We have a 3, 4, 5, 6 quadruple in box 7. And I'm naming these boxes 7 because we number these boxes 1 basically in Western reading, normal Western reading notation, right? So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, this is box 7, this is box 8, this is box 9. Actually, I don't even need to go this far in box 7. But we do have a quadruple in box 7, which must contain the digits 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 4 digits in 4 cells. Therefore, the rest of the cells cannot contain 3, 4, 5, or 6. But we could do it easier by basically saying, where can the 8 be in row 7? It cannot be any of these because of the 8's already there. Therefore, it must be here. So this is 8. Where is the 8 and 9 in box 1? 9 can't be here, and it can't be any of these cells. Therefore, this must be a 9. And therefore, this must be an 8. Therefore, this can't be 8 anymore. This must be 7, and this must be 8. Well, 7 can only be next to 1 and 2 on a German whisper line. Therefore, that makes this a 2, and this has to be 3 then because of it. So this 2 means this has to be a 1. This 7 means this has to be a 6. So, and that works for the German whisper line. This can't be 1 anymore, so this is 2. This can't be 1, so therefore this is 2, which makes that 1. Where is the 2 in box 4? It cannot be here, it cannot be here, can't be any of these, therefore this must be the 2. And as I said, now we're just doing Sudoku. This is 3 or 5, but the 3 can't be here, therefore this is 5, which makes that 3. We have, what do we have here? This, in column 2, we only have 1, 3, and 9 left over. 9 cannot be here or here because of this 9, and this can't be 3. Therefore, this must be a 1. This can't be 9 anymore, so this is a 3, which makes that a 9. We have, this can't be 3 anymore. Where is the 3 in column 3? It can only be here. So this is 3. And in addition, we have a 4, 5, 4, 5 pair in column 3. So the rest of the cells in the column cannot contain a 4 or 5. Therefore, this must be a 6. This has to be 7 by process of elimination, which means this can't be 7, so this is a 5, which makes that 7. This can't be a 5, so now this is 4. This has to be a 2. This can't be 4 anymore, so this is 5. This can't be 4 anymore, so this is 5. So we have no 5s here. This can't be 5 because of this 5. This can't be 6 because of that 6. Where is now the 6 in box 5? It cannot be any of these, therefore it must be here. So this is a 6. This must be 3 or 4 because of the cell of the digits left, but 3 can't be here, therefore this must be 4, which makes this 3. We're only left 1 in this box, so this has to be 1. This can't be 3. This can't be 3, obviously. This has to be a 4, which eliminates 4 from this cell. This is 6 and 5, and this can never be 6 because of that 6, so that makes this a 5, and that's a 6. This 5 makes this a 7, that's a 4 then, that's a 5. This has to be a 4, and this is all normal Sudoku. This is a 7, and that's the 1. And that's how you do this puzzle. Yeah, as I said, I like coloring in essentially the lows and the highs for German whisper lines because that lets you see visually what each cell has to be, right? And I think of these as cold and these as hot. So the high numbers are red, hot, and the low numbers are cool or cold. And then once you've gotten past like the German whisper lines, you can use low and high coloring for other things, but it's not as necessary, particularly in puzzles like this. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed learning how to Sudoku, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.